Alright, today, simplifying algebraic expressions. What we are doing today is we are using the distributive property of multiplication over addition and subtraction. Okay? So, simplifying algebraic expressions. Number one. You should have done that before class started, shouldn't you, Daniel? Okay, you can get one now, but this has got to stop. You can't get one. You're going to high school, people. You're not in kindergarten anymore. You're young adults. Be responsible. So what we're doing here is we're taking, when you see a number right next to a parentheses, you take that number and you multiply it times each number inside the parentheses. So 3 times -6, and yes, today you will be using your triangle for multiplication if you still use it. I would rather have you know the rules, which means that a negative times a negative gives you a positive. A negative times a positive gives you a negative. Very simple to remember. But if you need your triangle, please use it. 3 times 6 is what? 18. And since I have a negative sign on one of them and a positive on the other, it's -18. Okay? Then we have 3 times 9, which is -27n. Now, in algebra, okay, when we write our expressions or equations in algebra, the variables always come first. So today, I want you to practice. You take the variable and the sign in front of it, so -27n. Then you take the constant and the sign in front of it and rewrite it, and then I want you to put a box around that. Okay? Let's do another one. 9 times -7 is going to be -63. 9 times -4 is -36s. Then I'm going to rewrite that so my variable is first. I'm going to take my variable and the sign, and I'm going to put -36s. Then I'm going to write my constant and the sign, -63, and I have my answer, and I'm going to box it. I love it when people just say, I don't get it. Okay? All right? That's because you're not paying attention. Okay, I don't get it. Maybe I don't understand it. Maybe I need you to show me some more examples. But I don't get it is like saying, I don't care. Okay? -8. Kalijah, I want you to do this with me. I want you to take an arrow and I want you to draw it from -8 to the 3. And I want you to say -8 times 3 is how much? What is 8 times 3, Kalijah? Okay. 24, and you have one negative and one positive. Is that correct? So that means you're going to have a -24. Are you with me so far? Do you get what we just did? So now you take and you make an arrow from -8, and what do you have? A +5, don't you? Okay, so 8 times 5 is how much? 40. And if you have one negative and one positive, is it going to be a -40 or a +40? A -40, and then we still need to write our n down. Okay? In algebra, our variables come before our constants. So what I'm asking you to do is then circle your variable with the sign until you can do this without doing that. Write that in the front. And then you have this left over, so take the sign and write the constant. then put a box around it. That is the actual answer. Is this answer wrong? No, but it's not written algebraically correct. Okay? So let's try this one. Kalijah, 4 times 2 is what? 8. And it's negative 8 because you have a negative and a positive. So negative 8, and we still need to keep our s. It's a variable. Then we take negative 4 times negative 7. Remember, we always keep the sign in front of whatever it is. So a negative times a negative is going to give me a what? Positive. And then it's 4 times 7, which is 28. Now, do I have my variable first? So do I need to manipulate that at all? No, I'm going to leave that, and that's my answer. What? Are you starting to understand this, Kalijah? Yes or no? Okay. What do you mean? You have to flip it if the variable is on the end. You want the variable to be first, okay? So, but if you don't, I'm not marking it wrong. I'm just trying to teach you how it needs to look in algebra life, all right? So, we've got negative 7 times 4. What is negative 7 times 4? Negative 28. And what am I going to put here? G. All right. Negative 7 times positive 3 gives me what? And is it negative or positive? Because I have a negative and I have a positive, it's negative 21. Now, do I have my variable coming first? Yes. Now, if you need to check with a friend about facts, I'm okay with that. I would rather have you ask somebody, what is 5 times 6? Okay? Than to get it wrong just over that. But I don't want you using a calculator. We need to become familiar. All right? Some of you I've given a multiplication chart. That's very fine. If you use it, if I've given it to you, there's a reason I've given it to you, so use it. Okay? Okay, please. We don't need any disruptions. I understand you're just saying hey, but that hey could turn into a lot of things. All right, put this aside, and I want to show you one other thing. Tomorrow, a lot of you are not going to be here. So, this is the first thing you're going to do. Then I'm going to have you put your test scores in from the financial literacy test you took about a month ago, okay? Then on this desk over here is this paper. And for those of you watching this video, this paper on the front you should be able to handle, okay? And what I'm going to do is show you, because you're just combining like terms, all right? What happens on the back about number 16 on is this, okay? You end up with something that you have to distribute. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Negative 2 times, what's in front of that? N, a 1, an invisible 1. So that is a negative times negative gives me a plus 2n. Then you have this plus 4 out here that you have to add on to it. Now it just becomes a combining like terms. So do I have anything to put with 2n? No, it's by itself. Then I have a negative 14 plus 4, which that gives me a negative 10. So this is 2n minus 10. If you end up with a negative sign in front of a parentheses, it is because there's an invisible 1 there. Okay, so you end up with negative 4p. Negative 1 times 1 is what? Negative 1. Negative 1 times 6, negative 6 is plus 6p. Now you just combine your p's and you combine your constants and your variables. Well, I have a negative 4p plus 6p gives me 2p, and then the minus 1 is left, and I'm done. Okay? When you get to 16 on, if you need some help, come ask me. But this would be the second thing that you're going to do today, because we're trying to get it done before tomorrow when a lot of you are going to be missing. So if you are going to not be here tomorrow, you want to make sure and get to this, okay? All right, that's it for today.